Okay, so we are going to sketch these inequality graphs. So the first one starts at 2, and then goes down 2 and to the right 5, or up 2 and to the left 5. I'm drawing a solid line because of this or equal to sign, and then we need to shade above the graph. Okay, next one is not ready to be graphed yet, so we need to divide everything by 3 to end up with y is greater than 7/3 x minus 5. So we'd start here at -5 and go up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 1, 2, 3. Really, that's all we have space to graph with how big that slope is. And then now we need to decide if we're shading above or below, and in this case, we shade above the graph. Okay, the next problem is one that I will probably give you a graph for on the test because you could plug it in like we did number, I think, 7 that was, but I'm actually going to erase one of my graphs above. You won't really have the opportunity to do this on yours, but I'm just going to show you. We're actually going to graph this system and then decide the solutions that work. So the top one would start at 3, so I'm graphing these two equations up here. And then it would go down and to the right. And we would end up with a dashed line. And then our second one, I'll do in red. Oops, actually let's shade that top one. This is less than, so we're actually going to shade below this point on the graph. And then our next one, we would start at -2 and go up and over. And then this graph, we would shade above the line since it's positive. So that would be everything over here. And then our solution area would be everything in this zone right here where they both crossed. It's a little messy. I see that. So now we're going to go through each point and I will kind of plot them and then we'll talk about whether or not they're included. So the first one is 5, 3. So 5, 3 is all the way over here. That is not a point where they both cross. So no, it would not work for both. The next one is -2, 1. That is in the solution area, so that would be a yes. The next one is 1, 2, up 1 over 2. Because that is on the dashed line, that would not be included. It wouldn't work for this equation right here. So now we check 2, -3. That one is only going to work for one of them, not both of them. Now we're at 3, 5. That only works for one, not both. -2 and then 3 would be up here. That works for both. And then 2, 0. That's all the way over here. Since that is on the solid line that had the or equal to sign, this actually does work for both. And you could plug it in. I can show you in the top equation. 0 is less than -2 plus 3. 0 is less than 1. So it does work for both. So on your test, I will give you the graph that you would be able to do this. You would just need to be able to see if the points are in both sections or just one. Okay. Our last two questions are also about systems of inequality, so we need to graph number 14. So first we need to move everything over so that it's in slope-intercept form. I just kind of move the 2x over by subtracting. Then we divide by 3. And now we're ready to graph. You start at 5 and go down and over. That is a solid line, so we graph our solid line. The next one, you would subtract 5x from both sides, and then something tricky is about to happen. This is not isolated because we still have that negative sign, so we divide by -1. And if you remember from the other day, you flip that sign, and we're actually going to end up with positive 5x minus 3. And that's pretty much all we could graph for that one. And then you should have shaded, which I forgot to do, so we'll go back to the top equation. It was greater than, so we'll shade above. And then the second equation ended up being less than or equal to, so we'll shade below the graph. And then our solution area will be right here where the red and the blue crossed. Number 15 already has the graphs for you, so we just need to write out the equations. So we are going to set them up. The first equation starts at 0, so we need to have one that has a y-intercept of nothing, and that is actually true of all of them. So this one is obviously going up 1 and over 3. So our slope for the first one is y is something 1/3 x. This one is being shaded this way. I can tell because the graph includes this space over here. So this should be y is less than 1/3 x. So either A or B, and then we can check the next equation. So we just really need to figure out where the shading is coming from. So this one starts at -2, and this line is being shaded above the graph, so it should be greater than -x plus, greater than -x minus 2. So I'm not going to choose A or C because it had the +2 and it starts at the negative. So we're between B and C, and we're going to pick B because it has 1/3 is less than, or y is less than 1/3 x, and then y is greater than -x minus 2. So you check the shading for that one.